on YouTube. It's your boy Stroboogy coming at you with another episode from the bait shop. And I have finally stepped up my game, guys. I've been filming my previous videos with a Note 8. So it was time for me to upgrade. So I'll be bringing more content for you guys on my new S23 Ultra. Yes, I have GoPros and action cams, but in a small space, who wants to set up tripods and all of that? I just want to be able to take my phone, hook it up to my workbench phone holder, spin it around, and show you guys how I make up my baits. And in today's video, we will be showcasing Epic Bait Mold's 8.25 inch Epic Ribbon Swim Bait. This is an awesome mold, guys. It has a hook slot. It has an injection port where you can shoot the tail one color if you choose, and it's an open pore system. So I've done some pretty funky things with this mold. Check out the craftsmanship. Let me turn it around for you. Look at that. Of course, you guys aren't surprised for those that follow Epic Baits. And so yeah, we're going to turn around to the workbench and let's have some fun. Alright guys, so in today's video we are going to do some skin pouring. We're going to paint the bodies with Dip Your Car's Alien Pearl. That's a GC47. We're also going to use the GD10 Alien Color Shift, and the package that's faded is actually their Bluegill Color Shift. Alright guys, so before we do the skin pouring, I'm actually going to shoot the tail first. And this is a remelt that I use. It's just clear plastisol and it's swim bait blend from an order that I made previously. And it just has some Lure Works Diamond Pearl and Red. And it also has a little bit of alien color shift in there. So we're going to put this in a vacuum chamber, get rid of the bubbles because it's been sitting out for maybe about a week or so. And we'll shoot the tail first and then we'll do the skin pouring. So let me get this all vacuumed up and I'll meet you right back here for the injection of the tail. Alright guys, so I have the temperature of the plastisol up to about 360 because my injector is cold. I'm using a 4 ounce and the mold is cold. So I want to shoot it kind of hot to kind of offset that. And from my previous experience, the tail comes out still pretty good. And it doesn't take much plastic at all. So now I'm just holding the pressure. Topping off that sprue. And of course also I have some red flake in there. And that flake is I believe that's the 0.25 size. So we're going to let that sit up and we'll be right back for the unboxing. Alright guys, let's go ahead and unbox this boy. Pop the bolts off. Check that out. And yes, I should have lubricated this thing, but I'm glad it came out pretty good. That's how that looks. I'm just going to pop the sprue off. Now the reason why I did the tail is because I've learned when you're skin pouring this type of mold, if you got a little hair on there, little dog here, but if you do the skin pour first, your skin pour may go too far up into the tail section, and when you close the mold after you've painted the body, when you close the mold, part of the tail kind of sticks up depending on how high your skin pour is. And so when you close the mold to go to pour the body, part of the tail may be sticking up higher on one side than the other. So that's the reason why I did that. And you'll just place it into the body, and this will give me a good idea. Use some worm oil. This will give me a good idea of how far up to pour the skin. Just put a little oil on here. Makes it easier to manage. And it's kind of tough doing this around the camera. And of course, the noise that you hear in the background is the fan. You don't want to breathe these fumes in. So you just want to get it in the cavity. Should have used a little more worm oil. But that's the way. Let me move this out the way. Okay. Alright. Normally it's easier than this, guys, but again, doing this around the camera. And I am getting a phone call. But yeah, so let's see how far that sticks out. And so when I do my skin pour, I'm only going to pour up to this point. At least I'm going to try my best. So I'll be back, guys, to do the skin pouring for you. Alright guys, we are back to do the skin pouring. And just going to put my thumb here, just as a bit of a marker. And hopefully I don't burn myself in the process. Let me just move all of this out the way. It's hard doing this around the camera. And hopefully you guys can see this. Let me slide this back some. Okay. Just gonna let that run down. And I don't mind this being sloppy. I'll be able to clean that up. So I want to make sure. Yep, that's about where I want it. Let's do the other one. Let's put my thumb here. Make sure I don't burn myself. Alright, so we got our skin pour done. And to clean this up, we're just going to pinch it because the edges are razor sharp. And just clean this on up. And they did a great job with designing their molds where the edges are just sharp. And some is coming off, but that's okay because when I go to warm up the molds before pouring the body, all of that will just fall right back into place. So not too worried about it. Okay. And I'm not going to heat this up because I want it to look real funky, and you'll see why once the bodies are poured. So let's go ahead and move this out the way. Clean this up a little bit. And we're going to bring our pigments over. Oh, I got to clean this one up. And this one came off much better than the other one. And that's the dogs barking. I think someone is about to ring the doorbell. That's the only time they really go crazy. Alright. So that's decent for this demonstration. So let me turn these fans off because I don't want this stuff blowing in my face. And let's just grab our paintbrushes. So I'm going to start with the GC47. Actually, I'm going to start with the GD10 Alien Color Shift. And I'm going to paint the face with this one. I mean, as soon as you open the bag, this stuff starts flying all over the place. And so we're just gonna apply a good portion to the head of the bait. I mean, really pour it on. And this stuff is not cheap at all. Brush some of it over to the other one. And that's going to stick really well. Okay. So that'll be it for that one. Let's take the GC47. I'm trying to hurry a little bit because the UFC fight is on. Let's see, and let's do the body, the bottom of the bait. This color, since it's the lightest of the three, and we're just going to get that on there real heavy. And of course the rest of the body we'll do with the third pigment. And that looks good. Pull out our third brush. And these are just some paint brushes that I got off Amazon. And we're just gonna fill in the rest. So I want the top of the bait to be the darkest. That's my first time doing this trio, so I'm really curious, just like you guys, to see how this turns out. Okay, and that's going to do it for that. Just get this in here real good. Try not to have it fall over to the other pigments. So now we are going to pour the body with that same plastic color. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this heated up, Get the tail back in there. Pull out my hot plate so I can warm this boy up, and we'll be right back for the pour. Let me give you guys a close look at that. So I think that's going to look really good. Just don't want too much of it, too much of that bluegill color to fall down into the dark portion. I would rather have the lighter portion fall into. Oh, that's kind of funky too. Oh, I like that. Okay. So, I like that. So let's go ahead and let me get the rest heated up. I'm sorry, get the hot plate out, put the tail in, heat up the plastisol, and we will be right back. Alright guys, hopefully you can see this. We're going to do something that's never been attempted before. I am right-handed, so we're going to see how steady my left hand is. And let's give it a shot, because I want you guys to be able to see this. If I do it with my right hand, I will be blocking the shot. And I have the plastic up to about 360. Because the plate is still actually warming up. It's not too bad, left hand, that's not too bad. Oh. And that's okay. I can always clean the over pour up. And we're just going to let this cook maybe for about 30 minutes. Alright guys, I am hoping this turned out okay. I actually used my level to get everything balanced. And what I mean is, while this was cooking, I ate and I came back and the tail folded over. The mold was super hot. It's been about 4 hours now. I ate, watched the UFC fight, and so it is a little past midnight. I'm a night owl, so keeping my fingers crossed, and hopefully this turned out well, because I was watching the fight while this was cooking. So it's a little tough to get apart. Okay, all right. Okay, I like it. Has that natural color, and you can see the color shift. Check that out. All right, now I should have went a little heavier with the blue and maybe raise it a little bit, and maybe have gone a little further back. And I should have brushed the tail with some of the blue, but I know next time. But I do like this. Check that out. And let's just pull this boy out. It's kind of hard doing this around the camera. I'll try not to mess it up. Pop that hook slot out. Want to be very careful with the tail. Okay, it's solid. And I should have put some worm oil on the hook slot So that's my bag, but it came out okay. And check that bait out, guys. So my motto is, if you want to catch a big fish, you gotta use a big bait. And I think that's going to reflect real nice in the sun. Awesome bait, guys. Alright guys, for this run we're going to use the same blend that I made for the tails on the last run, but we're going to convert it using the blue crawl. And then what I plan on doing for the body is using some fresh plastic, and I'll be making the body out of kiwi. And you want to make sure this is shaken up really well. Let's see how a few drops affects this pigment. Okay. I like that. And the plastic is at about, I don't know, 330-ish. Oh, even lower than that. Let's see. Let's add just a few more drops. Okay. Just want to see how it looks. It's a little transparent. Let's see, I have 4 more drops. So if I had to guesstimate, it's probably about 15 to 16 drops. Of course, we got some other stuff in here. And that should look pretty good. Oh yeah. Okay. That's about where I want it, because I want it still sort of transparent. And what I'll do is I'll get this plastic back up to temperature, and we will shoot the tails. Alright, we got everything up to temperature. Oh, now that was a fail. One of the reasons why I do not like this type of injector. Let me grab one. It's always good to have more than one. Okay. Alright. Of course, I'll have to fish that nozzle out of there. And let's just pop out the tail. And I did oil this thing. Okay, there you go. And of course, it doesn't want to come out in the mold. And I know I didn't show you guys this the last time, but there you go. And what I like to do is I like to put the tail in the mold with the bolts, because it's easier to place the other half on top of that, and everything's oiled up. Look how easy that slid into place. And I have everything oiled up. Can't forget the hook slot. I keep forgetting that part. And we're just going to oil this up a little bit. And I just bought some little squirt bottles off Amazon. Came like 10 in a pack. And I have my scents in them, and I have them labeled. And let me just show you guys my scents. And all of these are by MF. We have the MF grape, the fish oil, and this is very strong. The garlic and coffee. I do plan on getting some more. I actually got a big shipment coming in from MF. It should be here hopefully Monday. Today is Sunday. Well, officially Sunday. It's 1:30 in the morning. I'm a night owl, so it's nothing for me to be up until 4 or 5 in the morning because I work from home. My office is actually in the next room. So I go to work, come to base shop, complete my orders, go back in to the office slash family room, and just relax for the rest of the night before going to bed. So that's my routine. At any rate, let's go ahead and get the next color, the next cup of plastisol, I should say, heat it up, and we're going to use the kiwi for that run. Alright guys, hopefully you can hear me over the fans. I can air this boy out a little bit. Looks like I have a little foreign option, little foreign hair in my plastic. Okay. And I have the mold heating up just a little bit while I mix this colorant. And let's just start off with, let's do 5 drops. And I'm going to match it against the samplers that I made for the tail. And it's a little transparent. Is that about 6 more drops? I wasn't quite counting. Guess I'll know when I post the video. Tester. Oh yeah. I might do one more run depending on how late it gets. It's already 1:30 in the morning. And it looks pretty good. A little transparent still, so let's do a few more drops. I think that's going to be really close to where I want it. This kiwi is really nice. It has a hint of brown along with the green that you see. And it's really distinct off camera, as you guys can see it. And let's go ahead and thicken it up just a little more. So I guess that's what, maybe 20 drops drop in. And I really don't count drops. I do everything by sight. And it's really close to what I want. It's the winter time. It's February, well, officially February 26th, and it is cold outside. Yep. This before I started putting in my pigment. This was at 360. So I got a little bit of cold air coming in from the back door, but I think I'm gonna leave it like that. And we're just gonna crank the hot plate up just a little bit. Got it at 250, and you got to know your hot plate, because I have a second one and the temperature varies. Even if I have them both on the same, have the temperature gauge at the same at 250. One will be hotter than the other one, and this one gets really hot. So let's check our pigment, our plastic. Just wanted to stir it up a little bit. So we are at 356, and I'll actually want to add some red flake. And this is actually the same size that I had with the last bait. I misquote. I think I said it was 0.025. So you guys actually see what it really is. 0.035. And that looks really good, guys. Really, really good. See how fast that's dropping down? Because it is freezing here in Chicago. So let that heat up just for a few more seconds. While that's heating up, take a look at our tester. You see that hint of brown along with that green. Oh yeah, it's stirring differently. I do like that. Alright, so let's get to pouring. I'm going to use my right hand this time. Hopefully you guys can see it. Well, let me use my left hand. So I see my arm is in a shot. Hopefully you guys can see that. I did level out the hot plate. Bam. It's not too bad. It's not bad at all. Definitely better than the last one. And again, I am right-handed. So that's really good with my left hand. Right? So I'll go ahead and let this cook. Check that out. Give you guys a couple of different angles. Yeah, played with this mold a couple of times. Tried a couple of different things. I actually tried the skim pouring method. I used some different pigments, but I'll be honest, I screwed that up and I trashed the video. So I'll be doing that again with this mold, doing some skin pouring. And I have a bunch of color shifts and hyper shifts for dip your car. bunch of them here. I know this is a modest collection compared to the few guys that I've seen. And for me, yeah, you can use some of the inexpensive stuff from Amazon. And I won't lie, I have a few of those. I have some hyper shifts and color shifts from Etsy. The stuff from Etsy just takes too long to arrive. But I do plan on buying some more items from Etsy that I saw that was super nice, that I can't find anywhere here in the States. So be on the lookout for that. I think the last time I ordered from Etsy, it came from China, and it may have taken, gosh, maybe 2 or 3 months to get here. So, yeah, hopefully I can go ahead and make that purchase soon. I actually have a couple of more molds coming in from Epic and from England AI, and also from some manufacturers that you haven't seen, or at least I haven't seen any demonstrations on YouTube from these guys. I did buy one mold that came from Canada, and this is the 2-inch tube mold, so be on the lookout for that video. And no, I'm not sponsored by anyone, at least not yet. If anyone's interested, I'm open. Because I have spent a lot of money on these molds. But I love what I do, so I would do this anyway if I wasn't making YouTube videos, because I am an avid fisherman. I used to fish for a bass fishing team when I lived in Georgia for a number of years. A few of the guys went pro. I ended up having to move back to Chicago due to some family issues that was going on, and plus I was missing out on my grandkid growing up, as well as my nephews. One of them, he's a Golden Glove boxer, and so yeah, I definitely wanted to be here for that. But at any rate, just to share a little bit of my life with you. Alright guys, let's take a look at what we got. And I actually let this cook for, I don't know, maybe it may have been 20 minutes, but I didn't cook it as high as I did when I did the skim pour, because the only thing we have to blend in is the tail. So I see the tail wants to come out on the top half of the mold. There you go. Ooh, check that out. Oh wow, I love that color combination. You guys see that? How sweet is that? Woo-wee. Check that out. That looks great, especially in person. Hopefully it's coming up real good for you guys. It looks pretty good on my side through the camera. That looks good. So I know this color combination works, and we'll definitely be putting in a little more work with that skin pouring technique, but this came out great. Woo! Check that out. Wow. Wow. Definitely one of my favorite big boy molds. Yes, sir. You got the hook slot, and look at that tail. I know that tail is going to be scandalous when it fully cures. That looks good. Take this off the hook slot. I did oil it, but there you go. I give the first run, I have to be honest with myself because I like to show the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'll give that first run, I'll give it 3 stars out of 5. Maybe 2.5 to be honest. But it was a good attempt. But this is a solid 5. This is a solid 5. No doubt. Let's get rid of some of these little shavings. Take a look at that. And because this came out so well, I'm gonna do one more run for you guys, because I'm curious to see how that tail looks in a chartreuse and how the body looks in this metal mist. Alright guys, I have overcooked this cup of plastic. But I do not feel like starting over. Let's just see how this looks since I'm putting some color in here. So I might have to go pretty heavy on this to cover up the mess I made. Okay, that's not too bad. All right. Saved by the chartreuse. Yep, I ended up getting this up to 430, which is just way too hot. About 70 degrees too hot than what it should have been. So I'm gonna just make this as heavy as I can to cover up some of that brown. Okay, and hopefully you guys can hear me over the fan still. That's not too bad, so we're gonna cover it up even more with some of this grape. That like that, and everything's being eyeballed still. Okay, I really want that grape to pop, so that looks good. Let's check our temperature. Give it for a few seconds. Get everything else together, because it is 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's just see how this stirs. Yep, it's stirring real good, and it covered up that discoloration. And I'm going to give this injector another try. Not going to burp it this time. And just hold the pressure. Okay. Top it off a little bit. Okay. Alright, it behaved correctly this time. I like the way that looks. Alright, let's check out the tails real quick. Or the tail. And that looks good. So I'm going to quickly move through this last mold, or this last bait that I'm making for the sake of time. I have the other plastic in the microwave. And I'm just going to shoot this in one take. Let's see. Come on. There you go. Okay. And I'm going to turn hot plate on. And check our plastic. All right. And let's get the metal mist. And I'm going to start off just with a few drops. That's 5. Try to build this color really quick. Oh yeah, I'm going to need way more than that. That was probably 10. I can tell already I'm going to need more than that. That's another 5. Oh yeah. Let's go a little heavier. That's probably another 10. Yeah, that's super light. It's probably another 10 because that tail is super saturated. Yeah, that's real light. It's probably another 10. Just kind of eyeballing it. Plastic is setting up real quick on me. Get my tester. That's still light. Let's see. I know I'm going kind of fast. It's probably about where I want it to be. I haven't used this metal mist in a while. Actually, I've only used it once, to be honest. Maybe just a little more. Wipe off this top. Okay. That should hopefully get us where we need to be. It is 4 in the morning. I'm down here playing with colors. All for y'all, dog. All for y'all. Let's see. That should do it. And just trying to match the saturation again of the tail. That's setting up on me. Let me get this heated up real quick. Make sure I got my hook slot in there. hate when the plastic gets stuck to the side of the cup. And that should really do it right there. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And I bet you I have to throw this in a mic again. Yep. Now I'm starting to have an issue with my vacuum pump. It's the dial isn't going all the way up to 30. It's getting pressure up to about 23. Have to check that hose. Might be losing pressure somewhere. Oh, yeah, I know that's ready from the way it's stirring. Ooh, that's super hot. Didn't mean to do that. And we're just gonna, I got the fans on, guys. Might be too much. Nope, it wasn't bad. Okay. And again, I'm just hurrying up because it is late. I actually have to work tomorrow. Luckily, I don't start working till 1 p.m. So that looks pretty good. I hate the fact that it's still some bubbles in there. And it dropped down. Okay, got my hot plate going. Oh, let me plug the hot plate up. Okay. And let's just go ahead and pour it. Let's bring this in some so you guys can see it. Doing this with my left hand. It's still hard for me to see over the camera. But we are going to work it out. Okay, it's not bad, not bad. And I'm gonna let this cook. Alright guys, let's do the final unboxing. And the mold is still pretty warm. Let's see, there you go. Woo! I love it. Came out perfect. Check that out. Wow. Look at that. And let's just pull this on out. Who wouldn't love to fish with this right here? Check that out. That is a beautiful bait. A beautiful bait. And I love how far the tail goes in. So when you do your pour, it just grabs onto that tail. But that looks good, guys. I'll definitely be keeping this color combination in my lineup. Look at that. Look at that. Alright guys, so that will do it for tonight's segment. Let me just grab the other two. So we can have them next to each other. Take a look at that, guys. That is a awesome, awesome mole. Beautiful. All right, guys, so I want to thank you all for hanging out with me on on another episode of it's 4:30 in the morning. So I'm a little tongue tied. So thank you guys again for hanging out. Stroboogy's Base Shop.